Hello, beautiful. Welcome to Stepping into the Light, where we give you the tips and the tools to create the life that you truly love. I am thrilled today to have Dr. David Silverman with me, and we're going to be talking about aha moments because I recently had one of the biggest aha moments of my life so far. So, as many of you know, I've been talking about ASEA for a while. I have been using this for a little over 8 months. And although I could tell lots of things happening, in the beginning, a knee issue disappearing, discomfort here and there disappearing, all the things. But recently I had one of the biggest aha moments. This past summer, I realized that I really wasn't having issues being out in the environment, which I had had most of my life, well, my whole life. Issues being in the environment, being around animals. And I've been on a medication for over 30 years just to kind of deal with life, with being able to function and have a quote unquote normal life. And when I realized this past summer I wasn't really having these issues, it kind of started coming across my mind that I want to try to get off this medication. And so I recently, about two and a half weeks ago, I looked into it just to see what to expect. What do they say it's going to be like to try to get off this medication? Because 30 years is a long time to be on this medication, and twice per day. So I looked into it, and it sounded like, oh boy, I might expect some severe things going on. So I started to pray, and I was meditating on it, and I just heard a voice say, just do it. I'm not telling anyone else to do it, just telling you what I did. And so I just stopped. I stopped taking the medication, and it's been over 2 weeks, and I have zero side effects, zero anything. I can be around any animals and I don't have issues. And I mean, I had severe reactions being around animals. And so I literally was choking back tears the other day when I was talking with Danielle about what happened for me. It was tears of joy and gratitude. And so I wanted to bring David on today, Dr. Silverman, to talk about this because I know he's had his own aha moments with ASEA. And I call it preaching the gospel of ASEA. That's the term that I've coined for ASEA. And so since this most recent change for me, I feel like I'm fine. I didn't even know, I think, who I was because this medication, I think, was, it had affected me somehow. And I feel so clear, just the clarity and the peace. So Dr. Silverman, let's talk about this because this was one of my biggest aha moments of my life. And I'd love to talk to you about your aha moments. I'm sure you have several.
Well, I love this. So we were just talking a few minutes ago, and like my background, is foot and ankle surgery. I've sold my practice, but that was my previous life. And I'm 62 years old right now. And I was introduced to this product 12 years ago. It was December of 2010 when my friend brought it to me. And my friend told me her aha moments. And her aha moments was her mother had always used an oxygen tank for several years and didn't have to use it anymore. And the other was she walked with a walker because of knee problems and so forth and didn't do that either. So that was her aha moment. And she had another aha moment. She had a skin problem she'd had for years, and I saw that it wasn't there anymore. So we don't make any medical claims with this at all. The body is able to heal itself if it's given what it needs. Just like if someone's drowning and they're underwater and they're going to die, all they have to do is get some oxygen and the body will take care of itself. They just have to get to the air, take a breath. The body will take care of itself if it's given what it needs, right? So my reason for looking into it back then was my dad. My dad had a pretty grave issue, one that's no one wants to hear they have in any part of their body, whether it's their prostate or their lung or their kidney or whatever. So I looked at it for him and being skeptical because this stuff is made from salt and water. So people say, oh, it's just salt water. It's not salt water. It's made from salt water because what's in the bottle is in us, right? We make it. We just made more of it when we were younger, and younger people generally are healthier than older people. Children are healthier than 30-year-olds, and 30-year-olds are generally healthier than 60-year-olds, and 60-year-olds are generally healthier than 90-year-olds because we produce less and less and less of these redox molecules as we get older. Our body makes it from saline. The company found, these scientists found a way to make it outside the body. So you're just raising your levels back up. But it sounds too good to be true to people. And if people Google and people say it's just salt water, it's like, but if someone's motivated to know that it's real, it's very easy to prove it to people. I mean, it's very easy. But if someone walks away from it and says, oh, I read online it's salt water, I'm not interested. It's very difficult to prove it to them because they're not even looking. But if they look, it's easy. And then they have their aha moments. So for me, when I saw my dad's response to the product, and he's fine today, he's 84. I was referring people to Debbie. I was like, maybe it was a coincidence with my dad here. So I sent people to her with blood sugar problems, with breathing problems, and they all kept coming back saying, thank you, kind of like what you're saying. Some were very quick and some took a little bit of time. Some in the first day, some in the first week, some in the first month, some within 3 months. Some people take longer. So you can't expect an aha moment. Everybody's not going to have one like that. Right. There actually is a way to do it with the gel version of this for things that hurt. You give me 10 people that are hurting, I know what's going to happen to 9 out of 10 people within 10 minutes. I mean, it's very easy. It's so.
And that was my knee. First day I used that gel. I had my knee hurt for months, and it was gone that day, first day.
No, it's pretty amazing. I mean, and we can give resources and so forth, but on how to use it, but it just takes 10 minutes. But we didn't have the gel back then. So when you ask me what my aha moment was, it was one of the people, 2. One was on someone else, another doctor, one was on me. Mine's going to seem minimal, but it was an aha moment, because the aha moments are when you realize it's not, to me, it means, it's not a placebo. I mean, put it on 10 people. If 3 of them felt better, you would say it could be a placebo. If 5 felt better, you might say it, but 9 out of 10 with the gel, which didn't come out till 2014. It's just so easy to prove to anybody. But an aha moment to me is, it's real. This is real. What I've read is real. There's no variables, right? So the first one was, a friend of mine was a doctor. I went to school with him, and I referred him to Debbie, who introduced it to me. And he had real bad joint problems, knee and back. So he got on the liquid, and a month later he calls me and he said, this stuff is a placebo. And I didn't even realize he had got the product, but he did. I said, what are you talking about? He said, I haven't been able to play. I used to be a scratch golfer. I haven't been able to play golf in a couple of years. My back and my knee, I just can't swing, and it hurts too bad afterwards. He said, I played golf yesterday. Like, I'm not hurting anymore. And he said, it's got to be a placebo. And I said, Dan, I'm thinking about getting involved with helping to bring this to the world, but I have to know it's not a placebo. I don't mind in the business side of it. I said, I don't mind making money. I like making money, but I don't want to make money if it's a placebo. If it's real and it's the breakthrough that everybody says that it is, and I'm getting all this feedback, but here, you be my guinea pig to my placebo buster. I said, you have bone rubbing on bone. If it's a placebo, it ain't gonna last. It ain't gonna last a long time. Call me in a month or 2 and tell me how you're doing. So he said, okay. Called me a week later. This was my first aha moment. He said, the first thing he said is, he said, it's not a placebo. I said, well, it still could be. It's only been a week. He goes, no, I'm standing. I just got out of the shower. I'm standing buck naked in front of the mirror. And I'm like, I mean, this will sound bad, Julia, but I joked. I said, don't tell me you grew an extra 5 inches. I don't know what so he didn't laugh. He goes, no, I'm dead serious. Something really happened. I go, what? He said, I've had these skin tags in my armpits for decades. And my dad had them. By the time he died, it was like a jungle of these pink things hanging. Mine's like that. And David, I'm putting on deodorant and they're almost all gone. And the ones that are there are brown. They're not pink. And he said, I brushed my fingernails against them and a couple of them just fell off. He said, this stuff is doing something at the cellular level. And that was my moment. That was like, okay, He wasn't even thinking about skin tags. He just noticed that's something that happened. That's why it's important when people start on this product, they take a good inventory of everything they have: energy, sleep, weight, skin problems, breathing problems, libido, blood sugar, if they have blood sugar problems, ringing in their ears, sneezing around dogs, walking up steps maybe makes you wheeze, or energy level, athletic performance. Take pictures of your skin, take a good inventory, and then start doing this. And there's a money back guarantee for 30 days, but not everybody's going to have their aha moment with this in 30 days. But it's good to do that. So that's when I got on the product. I wasn't even using it. So I got on it. Now, I was one of those people that I felt more energy, could have been in my head, right? Because remember, I'm trying to evaluate this to decide if I'm going to get involved with the business side of it, right? The opportunity side. So I had to know it was real, and I wanted to see something happen on me if I could, right? But I got a bunch of people on the product, and I got my stories from them. I wasn't seeing anything dramatic, more energy. I lost a little bit of weight. I thought maybe that's because I was just excited about something. I don't know. My skin, I thought, looked better. My wife said maybe it looks a little better. I don't, younger. I don't know. But about 2 months in, it happened. And my aha moment's going to sound kind of silly, but it isn't, because it wasn't a placebo. So for years, I had a split in a fingernail, like a longitudinal split that just went up here, and it would get caught on a blanket or something and rip and bleed. And I remember a woman I knew said, "Oh, just put a little super glue on that, crazy glue, and file it down. And then, it won't get caught on anything, right?" All right. So I always did that. And whenever I would clip that nail, I clip my nails real fast. When I get to that one, I would take my time. And what happened was, about 2 months in, I went to clip my nails and the split had grown out. So I'm like, that can't be in my head. That's been there for years. So I have had people have the most dramatic of dramatic aha moments, but it's cool when you told me you just had yours, and that's awesome.
Yeah, I love that. And you're right. Things happen at different times during while using ASEA. And, my knee was the first thing. And well, actually, energy level was also very quick, came back really, or my energy level increased. But I talked with Danielle about the dosage and duration. I said, it's about dosage and duration, because if I would not have made it to this point past 8 months, I don't know that I would have, who knows why my issues, who knows why the issues I had in the environment, the animals and all the stuff and the food, it took 8 months for that to be taken care of, for my body to recover from that. And if I would have stopped 5 months ago, 6 months ago, I would still be on that medication, and I would not have written my letter of gratitude, thanking Virtus actually for not giving up, for continuing to do what science said couldn't be done.
Right.
I was just singing him praises the other day, and I hope I get to hug him someday. I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to hug him, because of what he did. He's changed my life just in miraculous ways.
Yeah.
So
I'm, the amazing thing is, he turned down that offer from a pharmaceutical company because he felt that they were going to make it go away. When things come along that threaten the machine and the cash cow that they have, they don't want things like that on the market. I mean, they scared the hell out of people about CBD for decades, and made people laugh at it or scared of it or whatever. And CBD has amazing benefits. There's a lot of things that have amazing benefits, but bottom line is, I think most people at this point are not naive enough to think that pharmaceutical companies are in business just to help people. They want to make money, there's no doubt. And do they help people? Absolutely, they help people, especially in crisis situations. But 90% of people, my feeling is 90% of people that take medications for something don't need medications. There's something natural in this world that can help them. But doctors can't recommend it to them. I was a doctor. I was trained, diagnose, make the diagnosis, write the prescription, or do the surgery. I mean, I was board certified in surgery. And I would have gone through life thinking that to the day I died, until I had a wake up call. And my wake up call, I'll tell you another aha moment. My aha moment that made me leap out of the pharmaceutical box and my tunnel vision. And it scared the living hell out of me when I saw this happen. It really did. It rocked my world. And I think a lot of people that get their information from one source, and they look at other sources, like people that watch CNN say, oh, Fox, and people that watch Fox say, oh, CNN. Anytime you get information from one source, it's foolish. It's just absolutely foolish. And this shocked me, and it made me jump into the world of wellness and investigate things, because like I say, now I really feel 90% of people take medications, don't need it. I mean, they need something, but the doctor only knows medications is all they're going to offer. 1997, my mother had a horrible back problem, nerve problem. It wasn't just back. It was a very unusual problem. It's called reflex sympathetic dystrophy, but horrible pain. If you look it up, they've changed the name of it now to other something else, but horrible, and nothing worked. She'd been to doctors, hospitals everywhere. And a friend of mine said, doctor said, have you tried using magnets? I said, what? Magnets. Yeah, magnets. He told me what it had done for him. So I borrowed some from him. I said, here, mom, use this, sleep on this magnetic pad, put this magnet on your back. You know, what the hell? It can't hurt you. Just see, maybe it'll help. 3 days later, she's like, my God, I took grandma to the mall. My back, my leg, my foot, everything feels like this is amazing. And I'm like, yeah, it's a placebo. It's wonderful. It's good. It's a placebo. Because you look online, you look at things, and they laugh at magnets, right? Well, then my back went out, and I tried it for me, and it helped me. And I thought, wow, David, you're a placebo. You're susceptible to placebo like everybody else. And I tried it on patients, and I saw that about half of the patients within about 30 minutes said they felt really a lot better. Half. And I was fascinated by it. I'm like, this can't be. How could something work this fast, this well, and we don't know about it? So I was talking to a horse breeder, and I said, do you have studies? I want studies. Doctors want studies. And that's me. I'm studies. And he said, Dr. Silverman, look, just stop talking for a minute. He said, you want to know if it's not a placebo, right? I said, yeah. He said, well, stop using it on people. People are susceptible to placebos. We've been using magnets on horses for over 100 years. And if you look back in history, 3,000 years in China, they've been using lodestones magnets. So stop using it on limping people that tell you their pain level. Use it on a limping dog or horse. Do it on 10. And if any of them stop limping, any of them, could it be a placebo? They can't rate their pain on a scale of 1 to 10. I said, no, it didn't have to be. So first dog I did it, hip arthritis, dog's limping around. There's a friend of mine. We're sitting on the floor. Dog can't get up the steps, right? Sit on the floor. And to eliminate any chance that maybe I touched the animal, I didn't even put the magnet on. There's a magnet that would spin, and it threw the magnetic field out. And I just sat there and held it next to the hip, and we're talking to the woman, and all of a sudden, 20 minutes in, dog gets up, walks no limp, walks up the steps.
Wow.
She's crying. Like, thank you, my God, forget the dog's name. Like, oh my God, thank you. And I sat there like this thinking, Jesus Christ, what if I just proved that magnets work, and the traditional world, the doctors, all 99.9% of doctors would say that's a bunch of BS, that's crap, that's voodoo, that's silly. If I just proved that magnets work, it's real. Can't be a placebo. What else is out there that they didn't tell me? And that was a big aha moment for me.
Wow, I love that. And I'm gonna have to look into those magnets now. see, do some research on that. I know what you mean about. I really feel this whole, coming from integrity, and I've had my podcast since 2015, and I know people trust me, things that I share, and so I was the same. I had to try it and see. I had to make sure, even though I saw so many testimonials, which are remarkable, on the site, just I had to have my own experience, and then I couldn't shut up about it, because it's like, guys, this really does work. It's amazing. And I'm like you. I'm more of the holistic. there's so many natural things out there, and I've used CBD for a while, but again, with the issues I had with, the environment, with animals, nothing, I tried natural stuff, nothing ever helped me until ASEA. So for whatever reason, that's what my body needed, to take care of that. And yeah, and I get paid in goosebumps, as Danielle says. We get paid in goosebumps because we hear these stories, like your stories, and the stories about how it's helping everyone. And so the magnets, I'm going to have to look into that because that's fascinating.
Yeah, I mean,
I gave my dog ASEA, but I want to know about the magnets.
well, it's special kinds of magnets, but
Right.
now it's interesting because and look, when you're ahead of the curve and you know something before everybody else, breakthroughs always sound too good to be true to people. And the nice thing is with this, it's easy. Like I say, you find anybody who wants, with a money back guarantee for 30 days, it's easy to know. You take the gel, and I can go through expectations. Like you said, you use the word dosage and duration. I always say serving size and duration, because dosage infers it's a medication, and it's not. It's not. But I mean, that's what I say.
Okay.
But you take 10 people that are hurting, they rate their discomfort level on a scale of 1 to 10, and range of motion, if it's limited, or their neck, their back, menstrual cramp, and they give you that. And then you say, in 10 minutes, tell me how you feel. They shake up the gel, which again is made from saline, and it's clear, and there's no smell, and it's marketed for anti-aging. I mean, it's marketed to rejuvenate skin cells, and that's great. It does that. It works for cellulite too, but they put it on the area that hurts, if it's their neck or their hand, 3 times in 5 minutes. And I always put my hands up. People remember that. 3 times in 5 minutes. So they put her on, it dries, they put her on, it dries, they put her on, it dries. And at 10 minutes, ask them how they feel. Watch what happens to 9 out of 10 people. But you want me to give I know that people that are interested are going to reach out to you, or how do they reach out to Jay, or what are they doing to
Yeah, to myself and Jay. I mean, the number will be ticking across here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very important that you do that. You do not want to order it on third-party sites. This stuff is produced in an FDA registered production facility, and it's shipped to 34 countries around the world right now. In fact, I'm going to Asia in a couple of weeks for a month. This is very, very produced in a very, very specific way. And there's a money back guarantee on the product. When you buy stuff online, you don't know where it's been. There's been counterfeit products showed up in Europe already. The bigger this gets, the more there's going to be scammers that are just trying to, a lot of credit card fraud stuff, all this stuff. But I like to give people proper expectations. Can you co-host me, make me a co-host, and I can share my screen?
Okay, I've never done that. You're going to tell me, how do I do that?
So go to where it says participants, left
Okay.
participants, and you see my name and there's 3 little dots there. Can you make it does it say make co-host?
Let me see here. Yeah. Let's see if that worked.
Let's see. No, I'm still not.
Okay. It has a check by host and co-hosts.
Make me a co-host if you can.
Let's see. Do this.
You can either do it on the 3 dots on my picture or in the participant list. You generally.
Okay. It hasn't checked host and co-hosts. Your name.
For me?
Yes.
Well, I can't. I'll just do it. I'll just verbally do it. I'm not.
You want me to pull up? Well, you have it on your computer though. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. So here's what you do. When you reach out to Julia or Jay, who is helping her also, to get the product and get at the best price and money back guarantee, that they're going to give you some instructions on usage. And there's a form that you want to fill out, and on it has an inventory of everything of your health. And maybe you don't have a hearing problem. So when it says hearing on a scale of 1 to 10 or 1 to 5, 5 being good, you're just going to say I'm 5, no problem. But when it gets to sleep, maybe you have a sleeping problem. Okay, so you're going to circle that. Breathing problem, sneezing around dogs, like we say, blood sugar problem, sex drive, whatever. So
I fixed it.
Oh, you did. You got it.
Okay. I was sitting for
So here, let me just instead of talking about it, I can show you. So you see this? It's something like this. And you'll see down here, energy level, sleep, how many times you get up, go to the bathroom at night, focusing, that's like memory, because this crosses the blood-brain barrier. Mood, if you have low mood, maybe you take meds for that. Neurological problems, could be anything, could be something in your carpal tunnel, could be your foot is numb, could be your hand shakes, digestive. So everything, because if you think about this, you don't see a lot of these problems in children and younger people. They get worse as we get older, and they're producing less and less of this. So you're getting a good inventory of everything. And you see athletic performance baseline that we have Olympic gold medalists on this product. They're double-blind studies showing why athletes perform better and recover faster. I'm not an athlete, but I'm 62 and I feel like I'm 26 years old. So if you want to feel younger, you drink the product. You want to look younger, put this on your skin. And then it says take pictures of your skin, hair, and nails at the bottom, right? Everything that's not the perfect or anything. Yeah, anything that's not perfect.
Yep.
That's at day 0 or day 1. Then you're gonna, I'll tell you how to drink this. It's on the screen there, but by day 7, expectations are that about 15% of people absolutely have an aha moment. That's the gel. 15%, and you drank about 1 bottle in that week total. The 85% of people that didn't are thinking, well, what happened? Nothing's happened. That's why if you're a person that sees a response in the first week and you drank 1 bottle and out of the goodness of your heart, you're giving the bottle to people or selling it, don't do that, because it's an 85% fail rate. Only 15% of people are going to say, wow, this is amazing. 85% are going to say, I don't see anything. Okay, so let's continue. At day 7, what you should do is double the amount you drink temporarily. It says it right down here. Day 7, reassess. If no changes noticed, temporarily double it to 8 ounces a day. We call that the magic 8. The magic 8. And you stay there until you see your changes. Now, I drink 8 ounces a day every day. It's non-toxic.
I do too. I started out with it. Yep.
Magic 8's better. If you're younger, you probably need 4. You get to a certain point, or someone who's bigger is going to need 8, probably. Someone who's older is going to need 8. Someone who's sicker is going to need 8. But like I'm getting ready to go to Asia for a month. I'm going to drink the whole bottle every day for about 4 days before I go, 32 ounces. There's no toxicity to this. It's as safe as water. I have it in a nebulizer here. You can see the mist coming out of this. You got one too.
Absolutely. This is a godsend. Oh my gosh, yes.
We can't make any claims, and I'm not saying it's going to help anything. I'm saying I'm showing safety. This is it. I'm putting it in my eye. I'm breathing again. So I'll turn this thing off.
I use a dropper to put it in my eyes. I never thought about using my nebulizer.
Yeah, you can do it. Nebulizing I live in Florida here in the wintertime, so I'm in the sun all the time. So it just feels good on in my eye. Yeah. Golf every day. So expectations. If you double it by day 30, 60% of people are stunned. And by day 90, 90% of people are stunned. So you want to go 90 days. Now, I'm not saying that everything that's wrong with a person is going to be better in 90% of people by day 90. What I'm saying is by day 90, 90% of people are going to have their aha moment. 90% of people are going to say, wow, this is what they said it is. So, and again, with the gel, it's different because you just do the 3 times in 5 minutes on 10 people that are hurting, and you'll know. So I just like people to have proper expectations.
Yeah, I love that. I'm glad you explained that, and doing that inventory is so important. And I do suggest everybody do that, because again, you're going to forget certain things that you had going on because they're not happening anymore.
Absolutely. And Julie, I know a lot of your people are going to wonder, and this happens to everybody. They're like, well, God, my dad had this thing happen with his brain and now he can't move his hand, his right side of his body, or I have a problem with hot flashes or whatever. And people are going to say, I wonder if this could help me. I'm going to share something with you that you can give them the password to it. Okay. When they call you, you get the password. But this site, if you go to gettingyoungerclub.com, you don't need a password to get here, but I recommend everybody watch that first video that's pulsating there at 6 minutes. And then there's interest-specific videos. Like, why is it marketed through word of mouth marketing? Did they really not sell to a pharmaceutical company? This is 16 minutes. This is well worth watching. People that say, oh, it's just salt water, just watch that. Here's a 5-minute tour of the FDA registered production facility. There's information on the opportunity here as well. But here's the one I want to mention where it says, I'm going to blow it up here. What about my issue?
Mhm.
So when you click it, it's password protected. You can give them the password. And when they click it and they say they want to look up memory loss, they come here and these are all videos, short videos, 5 to 12 minutes long, of people sharing what happened with them. Here's a Super Bowl champion who's talking about his hurting and energy and sleep. This is Danielle hit by a drunk driver and had a brain injury. People just sharing. But, you know, if you're not interested in that, you're interested in memory. What you do is you watch this video first, this overview video, 7 minutes, and then come over here and see where it says memory. When I click it, it sorts through all the ones and it just hones down on the ones that have something about memory. And I recommend everybody listen to story number 9, because story number 9, I mean, anybody that watches that, it will look at this and say, I got to get this stuff. They're going to think of someone you love. And it's not just memory, but it is the most powerful thing. All of these are powerful. But
That one is powerful. I've watched that one. Yep.
Yeah. So let's say they're interested in blood sugar. So they click blood sugar. It sorts through the blood sugar. Sleep is a big one. Click sleep. All of these contain something about sleep. It may not just be sleep. I mean, here, look, hey, look at that. Look at that one.
Yeah.
What you're talking about, right?
Absolutely.
There's hormone, but every one of these will have sleep in there. So it's a great site. So it's gettingyoungerclub.com, and then they can reach out to you for the password to get in. We just don't put that out publicly.
Yeah, and I'll put my my email, my phone. You can text me or call and get the password from me, so you can do your own research and go. I have watched so many of those testimonials, and again, I was like, okay, Alan, you can interview me now. I'll be on there because I had this big 30-year thing that got shifted for me. So
well,
I put that out in the ethers.
He's starting to do them again, I think. So I'll let him know. I think there's like 120 on there right now, but it's you know, it's like you say, when you hear the testimonials, it's one thing, but when you see it, and that's why the gel is so important, because I know results matter. As soon as someone sees something happen, it's like there's no doubt. It's like, I don't care what anybody says. Hey, my brother-in-law is the top cardiac surgeon at Johns Hopkins, and he says this is BS. Well, once you've seen it yourself, you're like, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're smart, but you're ignorant. You know, people that think they know everything they're stupid. People that think they know everything are stupid. People that realize, hey, I don't know 99% of things in the world. I know I'm ignorant about most things, but some people, because they're a doctor, they're like, this is ridiculous. Put the gel on 10 people who are hurting. It's the fastest way to get a response to say, okay, there's something significant here. This is not just people talking. I saw it happen myself. And I suggest doing it on 10 people who are hurting a little bit to a lot, who are negative people, or not negative people, but real cynical, skeptical people that say, I don't believe it. Like the Johns Hopkins cardiac surgeon, if he's 70 years old, or she, and I'll say, can you do this? Go up and down with no discomfort in your knees. And it goes down and comes up and says, oh, it hurts. What's the level of hurting? 7. Negative guy, negative girl, put the gel on 3 times in 5 minutes. And in 10 minutes, they do it again. Watch what happens to 9 out of 10 people. And then you know it's real, right?
Yeah. My boyfriend's mother, who is 92, is one of the top skeptics. And we started her on it. She actually didn't use the gel. She started this. She started taking this. And she had this discomfort in her lower back that a lot of people get, that shoots all the way down, and it's tough to live with. She said she's had it her entire life and it's gone. So she does not run out of this.
And that's what we had to do. So this company launched, they turned down the offer from the pharmaceutical company. You'll see it in that video that I referenced in 2007. And they said, well, how are we going to get this to the world? right? Because it's going to be attacked. It's going to be, this is a breakthrough. And, you know, pharmaceutical companies don't want people to stop going to CVS and Walgreens to get their stuff. I mean, they want them going, right? But so the company launched in 2009, just in the US. Now we're in 34 countries, but the gel didn't come out till 14. So what you just said happened with her was what we'd have to see happen. It happened with my friend, the doctor who could golf again, didn't have this. We can only do it with this, but it took a little bit longer, right? And some people, they're like, well, it tastes funny. Most people, it tastes like water, salt water, or swimming pool water. The more it tastes like
for me at the beginning.
swimming pool.
Yeah, in the beginning.
Yeah. Well, the more toxic
Not now.
it is, the more it tastes that way. And then it starts tasting more like water, right? But people that have been on medications for a long time, people that work in nail salons or painters or whatever. I mean, they're agricultural, they're breathing in pesticides and fertilizers and stuff. There's a lot of crap in us. And some people say, well, I live a clean life. I don't have any toxins. Why does it taste like that? Really? I'm like, do you breathe air? Yeah. Do you have furniture in your house? Yeah, I have furniture in my house. Do you have carpeting? Yeah, I have carpeting. So do you ever see when the sun's coming in, a bright sunlight beam coming in, do you ever see dust? Does dust show up when you have to dust your house? Yeah. Well, what do you think that dust is? Well, I guess it's coming off of the furniture and the carpeting. Yeah. You know, there's fire retardant in that, right? You're breathing that stuff in. That's in your body. Don't tell me you're not toxic. Everybody's got it in them. Right. So if it tastes funny at the beginning, that's what that is. It's just, and again, you'll give them really specific instructions on how to use it when they call you, but everybody's toxic.
I want to, before we end this call, I want to talk about something that happened with my parents. I always have major aha moments with my parents. So my dad has a condition where he shakes uncontrollably and losing functions. And it was really reversing that. That's the only word I could come up was it was going away, and I was getting my dad back. My mom was doing it as well, and it was helping her mental capacity. And I was just watching this happen in front of my eyes, and then I had them bump up. They were on 4 ounces a day, and I told them, well, let's just add some more, And they did. My mom, I think they took 4 more ounces. Now they had a detox reaction, I guess. I don't know if I can use that word, but they had a reaction. And so my mom, unfortunately, thought it was because it was a bad thing, where I knew she was just getting stuff. I felt she was just getting stuff out of her body. But I want to say that because just if that happens for someone, Dr. Hoffman talks about this, that's a good reaction because it's actually showing you that you're getting stuff out of your body.
Yeah. And you know what? It is called detox. About 10% of people that drink the product will have that at the beginning. And it's toxins coming out. And if you don't drink enough water, and older people a lot of times don't drink a lot of water, but you want to drink a lot of water. So when the toxins come out of the cells and into the bloodstream, you urinate them out. Because if they stay in you could get a headache. You can get a rash. They're trying to come out. You can get diarrhea. You can get a headache. You can get achy. These things. It's less than 10% of people, but it is a good thing. And so with Dr. Hoffman, she gave a great analogy because she gave an aquarium analogy. If anybody's ever had an aquarium, and I did when I had several big ones. When you set it up, you put in the gravel, you put in your little ornaments or whatever. You fill it up with water. You put a filter in that's going to run, right? And then you put the fish in. You treat the water to get the chlorine out, and then you put the fish in, and it's nice and crystal clear, right? And then say a month later, it's still crystal clear if it's a big aquarium, and it's got a filter running, right? But if you were to put your arm down into the gravel, and you went like this, all the garbage and the waste would go up, and it would get all cloudy. You wouldn't be able to see the fish. It'd just be just total cloudy. And eventually gravity would settle it down, and the filter would take some of it out, but gravity would pull a lot of it back down. The filter can't get it out. I mean, just like the kidney can't get everything out of us. So what you do is, anybody knows has done this before, you take a siphon. It's a tube with it's like a cylinder hard cylinder with a tube that comes out. You stick the cylinder down into the gravel, you suck on the end, so the water starts coming out into a bucket, and it picks up the gravel gets picked up, but it's so heavy that it goes back down. But the garbage, the poop and everything else goes up through the tube into the bucket. So the level of the aquarium goes down because you're pulling out all this bad. You just go across the whole bottom, you get it all out. Now the gravel's clean, it's been filtered, right? And then you put fresh water in. That's what happens with this. When you drink this product, all these toxins are coming out now. Everything's all cloudy. Most people don't feel it, especially if they're well hydrated, but 10% will. And it's a good thing. This is why I'd rather get people to start on the Magic 8 and then work backwards, because they'll have a faster positive response. But the percentage of people that would have negative things happen, which is perceived as a negative thing, oh, my head is killing me, or I got diarrhea, I'm not drinking this stuff, the percentage would go way up above 10%. So we're like, just start at 2 ounces twice a day, and you'll give them the specifics on holding it in their mouth and things like that. But yeah, detox is actually a good thing. And if someone's having it, then you just drink more water, or maybe decrease temporarily the amount of ASEA, and then start increasing it back up again.
Good. I just wanted to cover that so that people don't think, did understand what was happening.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I didn't have any detox reactions, but, and I did start on the Magic 8 because I just wanted to really, because all of you are on the Magic 8, and I said, I'm going to do what they're doing because they look amazing and they feel amazing. So, well, I thank you so much for taking the time today to, talk about this and to share my aha moment and your aha moments. And I can't wait to hear everyone else's aha moments as they get on this ASEA journey. And, reach out to me. I'll put my number across the bottom, myself or Jay. You can order Jay, and reach out if you have any questions. I'll help you in any way possible. This is the most beautiful gift that we could give ourselves, I feel, is giving your body this chance to rejuvenate. And thanks to Vertus and his team, they did it. They did what science said wasn't possible. So I'm eternally grateful. And again, I hope I get to meet him someday and give him a big hug.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll have to stand in line.
Definitely meet Tyler. Where do you live, Julie? I can't remember.
I'm in Northeast Pennsylvania.
So the international convention is in San Antonio in September. Hopefully I get a chance to meet you there. That's where everybody converges, and they're releasing some new products actually. Some are really, really incredibly potentiate all of this for anti-aging. Really pretty cool. And one thing is that one thing I'll mention is a lot of people will say to me, especially I'm a doctor, people say, well, is insurance paid for it? And insurance doesn't pay for this at all because it's not a medication, but there is a way that people can get their product for free just by paying it forward. So good people, when they see what it does, they naturally tell people. They can either refer them to you, or they can be an associate themselves, and they can share it with just a handful of people to make enough money on a recurring basis to pay for their family's product. And I'm not here to talk about the opportunity side of it, because that's not what we're talking about here. But, lack of money and living with scarcity and not being able to buy organic foods or buy things that are good because you don't have enough money. Money doesn't make you happy. It makes you comfortable, and it gives you choices. And I'd like to show people that if they pay it forward, that they can get all their product for free. They don't have to worry about it being an expense. They don't have to say, oh, insurance doesn't pay for it, I can't do it. It's like, just be a good person, share with a few people. The company will pay you to do that because they spend no money on drug reps. They spend no money on advertising. That money goes to the people, and to people, to empower them to be able to at least get the product themselves. It's not expensive anyway, really, but to get it themselves and maybe have a better life for themselves. So I just want to make sure people are aware of that.
I think it's such a return that we receive from it that it's not expensive for what I've received.
Yeah.
My life, I have a life now that I'm free of that. Even that thing I was taking that I had to take for 30 years. So that's priceless.
I was going to say, I was exactly going to say priceless. You just said the word.
Priceless.
Yeah.
And so I'm happy to share my story, all the things that are happening for me, and I can't wait to hear from all of you that decide to try it. We'll get you started, and then I'd love to hear back from you as things happen for you. Even love to have you on the podcast if you ever want to share. Dr. Silverman, thank you again for joining me.
Thanks, Julia.
Your wealth of information. And you are, I have to say, I also look up to you so much because you are always available for everyone. You are just there anytime we reach out. I think about so many companies where you try to reach someone that's kind of at the top and you can't. They're not even reachable. So you are so genuine and such a great person, great soul. Just thank you for being you.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, I wear two hats. I'm on the medical board of the company, which is a volunteer position, and I was voted mentor of the year and business builder of the year, and I'm just really passionate about it. And I don't have to do this anymore. I mean, God's been good. I shared this with people. They shared it with people. They shared it with people. It spread around the world, and financially, we're set. But I just feel like I've dedicated my life to making people aware of this product. Until it becomes mainstream. And when it hits that tipping point, it's not going to need me anymore to be doing this. But I feel like if I don't do the best that I can to help other people explain to their people, their contacts, what this is, how to use it properly, proper expectations, that people are literally going to suffer. And I know that people will die, actually. So while I have a great life, I play golf every day. I appreciate you because everybody's got a sphere of influence, right? And if a person is a podcaster, they have a bigger sphere of influence. But the cool thing is, I wasn't a podcaster. Debbie, my sponsor in this, was not a podcaster. But that's the last thing I'll leave you with, that we can all make an incredible difference in this world. My favorite movie is It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart. And he said at some point, maybe it's better if I was never born at all. And then the angel made him not, as if he never existed. And he saw how the world was so different because he wasn't in it. Like bad things happened. Really, people that literally the chain of events that can happen. Lots of people were dead because he wasn't alive, which means they never had children. So it really have an impact. But with this, if you make 10 people aware of this breakthrough, 10, and they're on the product, they're like you. I had my aha moment, right? Oh. And they went out and they told people. Not everybody's going to listen, but if each one of those 10 did what you did, right, and got helped 10 people, that's 100 people, right? So you impacted 110 people. Now, if those 100 people each impacted 10, that's 1,000. If they impacted 10, that's 10,000. If they impacted 10, that's 100,000. If they impacted 10, that's a million people. And with altogether, it's over 1.1 million people. And what did you do? You helped 10 people and taught them, how do we educate 10 people about this? So anybody can have the impact, a massive impact, which is much bigger than I had as a doctor. I had offices, I helped people, but I couldn't impact people like that. And I certainly couldn't impact someone from Washington, D.C., in Maryland area where my practice was, in California or Texas or Iowa or Guadalajara or Stockholm or Hong Kong. But with this, it spreads around the world and you have a huge impact. So the rewards are certainly not just monetary. The rewards are also just the way it makes you feel.
Yeah, I call it the ripple effect, that we can't even imagine how many lives we've touched with just touching one life.
Yep.
It's the ripple effect. I also want to say too, if you live somewhere, if you go to those sites, the juliatreat.teamasea.com, if you want to look at the product, there is a contact button there. You can do that and I'll get a message and get a hold of you. But even if you live somewhere, I don't know if I can say this, but if it's a country where it's not listed. Like I'm working with some people that we can get it. Is that okay to say on here that we can get it to some countries through couriers?
Oh yeah, I just had someone this morning in Israel who's getting the product, and she just has to order it in one of the countries that we're open in, and then they have to ship it to Israel. It could be.
We do that to I have some clients in, or I'm going to say ASEA family in Costa Rica, and then I have some people in India who are now going to start getting the product. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to point that out. If your country's not on there, still reach out, because there might be a way that we can get it to you.
And you'll see at your website, if they should talk to you before ordering. Nobody should just go order. They should talk to you.
I'll walk you through it, because
some people go to do it themselves, and then afterwards, like, well, I didn't know about that. If I known about that offer, I would have done that. I mean, just just get educated and order it properly. But
Yes.
but you can see the countries. If you go to Julia's site, what was it called again?
JuliaTreat.teamasea.com.
JuliaTreat.teamasea.com. But when you click join here, you'll see it says United States, but click the little arrow down, it'll open up the countries. And it's pretty cool because let's say you knew somebody in Germany, they go and they click Germany, it translates it in German. And the person in Germany, then they get a website and they know somebody in Hong Kong, person in Hong Kong goes to translate it into Mandarin. So it's really kind of cool.
That is cool. That is very cool.
So,
oh, right. Well, guys, reach out. I'm here for you. I want to help you in any way that I can. And whether you just want to try the product or you want to join the company, then reach out. And Dr. David Silverman, thank you again.
Bet, Julie. Thank you. Happy New Year.
Hey, Happy New Year. God bless everyone. Have a blessed day.